purpose of our lives is happiness. Dalai Lama, where all ambitions, competitions, and worries are set aside to listen to the true beat of the heart. Upon deeper analysis, we realize that happiness is not a destination hanging suspended at the end of the road, but a warm light scattered evenly on every step we take. It is like a clear river, ceaselessly flowing, sometimes quietly, sometimes surging, but always nourishing the banks with moments of life. It does not advocate escaping suffering, but gently points out that suffering is also a necessary low note to make the symphony of life complete. Thus, happiness does not oppose challenges. It sprouts from how we face them, from kindness toward ourselves and others. Like a gardener tending to plants, we learn to water with gratitude, prune away useless comparisons, and patiently wait for the fruit to ripen. Each smile given is a seed. Each time we rise after falling is an underground stream. Through that lens, life is no longer an exhausting race, but becomes a journey of appreciation. We learn to see rain as an invitation to shelter, sunshine as a blessing, and wind as an invisible hand pushing us toward openness. Happiness does not require luxurious conditions. It exists when we live fully, love abundantly, and allow ourselves to be at peace in every present moment. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The existing path symbolizes safety, familiarity, and societal acceptance, while the place without a path is the land of risk, creativity, and personal courage. Following the old path makes it easy to walk, but rarely helps us truly discover who we are. Only when daring to veer off the pre-drawn lines do people begin to write their own unique life story. Life often advises us to choose the right path, study according to templates, work according to standards, live to please the majority. But that excessive correctness sometimes erodes personality and dreams. It does not deny the value of the existing path, but poses a higher choice, daring to step into unmapped territory. Like an explorer venturing into a wild forest, each step is full of uncertainty. But that is precisely why each footprint becomes meaningful. The trail left behind is not just tangible achievements, but new thinking, new perspectives, inspiration for those who follow. Going where there is no path requires immense courage, because no one guarantees we will be right, successful, or immediately recognized. But that very uncertainty forces people to be creative, to listen to the inner voice instead of external noise. When we forge our own path, each mistake becomes a lesson. Each stumble becomes proof that we have truly lived, not just existed. And then, over the years, those trails combine into a new path, not just for ourselves, but also for those brave enough to follow. At that point, the greatest value lies not in how far we have gone, but in daring to step out of the familiar rut to affirm our own identity. Because ultimately, the world does not change because of those who only walk on old paths, but because of those who dare to go ahead, dare to leave trails, and dare to be themselves. Life is really very simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Confucius, people pause and reflect on themselves. The essence of life is as clear as the water surface in the early morning. Eat when hungry, rest when tired, love when the heart stirs. Yet, people continuously stir that water with endless calculations, comparisons, and expectations. We draw additional mazes of fame, money, social standards, then fumble to find the way out in the walls we ourselves built. Complexity does not come from life, but arises from a mind that refuses to be quiet, always wanting more, faster, higher. This saying does not judge, but like a gentle smile, evokes awakening. If we know how to let go of invisible burdens, life will return to its original form, simple yet fulfilling, like a child happy with a pebble by the roadside, like a traveler content with a sip of cool water. We will see that joy is not far away. When understanding that, we learn to live slowly, live truly, and allow ourselves to be lighter in a world full of changes. From there, life is no longer an unsolvable problem, but becomes a soothing harmony where every moment is cherished and every breath carries serenity. Life itself is the most wonderful fairy tale, hence Christian Andersen. People look back at the journey they are on. When we are young, fairy tales appear with castles, magic, and perfect endings. But when grown up, we realize life also sparkles with those elements, just hidden under the veil of ordinary days. Waking up safely each morning, each warm meal, each effort to overcome difficulties, all are silent miracles that we often overlook. Life does not promise all roses, just like fairy tales are not only joy, but always accompanied by challenges. It is those thorns that give value to the journey. We are the main character in our own story, sometimes weak, sometimes lost, but still continuing to walk. There are gloomy days like the dark forest in old tales, but there will also be moments when light appears, guiding us out of fear. The wonder lies in the fact that we do not need to wait for a fairy godmother or any magic, because resilience, love, and faith are the magic already within each person. When viewing life with grateful eyes and an open heart, we will see every small detail carries meaning. A smile exchanged, a fall and then rising, or a dream quietly nurtured, all weave a very personal, very real fairy tale. And when understanding that, we will live slower, deeper, cherish the present more, to realize that we do not need to seek fairy tales far away, because life itself, with all it brings, is already the most beautiful and authentic fairy tale we are fortunate to live every day. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Ayn Rand, the invisible wall that people often build for themselves. Fear of judgment, the habit of waiting for recognition, and the mindset of depending on others' nods. When hesitating, we often ask, "Am I allowed?" But when maturing in thought, we realize a deeper truth. If no one can stop us, then the right to move forward is already in our hands. Life inherently has no supreme council that specializes in granting permission for dreams or aspirations. The road ahead does not open with permission, but with courage. Those who dare to go far often do so not because they got the green light, but because they accept risks, ready to face opposition and failure. Like water, not asking the stone if it can flow through, it quietly finds a way, eroding obstacles with persistent perseverance. People are the same. When believing enough in their choices, every barrier becomes just a test of determination. It awakens the spirit of personal responsibility. When no longer waiting for permission, we must take responsibility for every step we take, making the journey more real, more profound. And then we understand that the greatest stopper is often not others, but our own fear within. When overcoming that, the outside world suddenly becomes wide open, and the path we choose, though rugged, shines with the beauty of freedom and courage. If you want to make your dreams come true, the first thing you have to do is wake up. Power. A cold drop of water gently touches the mind, awakening people from sweet but stagnant dreams. Dreams, by nature, are beautiful. They are vivid, sparkling, and colorful when existing in the imagination, like the starry sky we gaze at from afar. But if forever lying in sleep, dreams will remain mere reflections, never touching reality. Waking up here is not just opening eyes after a long night, but awakening in awareness, in will, and in action. Life often lulls us with vague promises, Tomorrow, there will be a time. Wait for the right moment. And so people dream a lot, but do very little. No dream steps into the light on its own if we do not stand up from the comfort zone. Waking up means accepting reality, where there are difficulties, fatigue, failures, and days that do not resemble dreams at all. But it is in that rough collision that dreams have the chance to be tempered and grow, like a seed that cannot sprout if just lying still in a cloth bag. Dreams also need to be planted in the ground, facing the sun and rain of life. When we wake up, we begin the journey from small, sometimes trivial, but meaningful things. Each step is an affirmation that we not only dream, but also dare to live for that dream. And then, one day, looking back, we will understand. The most important moment is not when we dream, but when we wake up and begin. It is that awakening that turns dreams from the fanciful into a real story, carrying the breath of life. Always remember that your focus determines your reality. George Lucas. It is not only shaped by external circumstances, but also molded by where we place our gaze and mind. When we focus on lacks, the world appears full of limitations. When we fixate on fear, reality is colored with unease. Conversely, when attention turns to solutions, hope, and values, life suddenly opens paths that seemed non-existent. Focus is like a flashlight in the dark night. It does not illuminate the entire path, but wherever the light touches, that place becomes clear and meaningful. Life is inherently complex, containing both joy and sorrow, success and failure. But what we feel most deeply depends on what we choose to hold in our minds. If we pay attention to criticisms, they grow like echoes in a deep cave. If we notice progress, even small, it becomes a silent motivator, leading us further. It does not deny objective reality, but grants people the initiative before that reality. We cannot always control what happens, but we can control how we perceive and react. Like an artist standing before their life painting, focus is the dominant color scheme, deciding the overall work. When we focus on the positive, we are not blind, but become steadier. When we focus on goals, surrounding distractions gradually lose their weight. That focus determines reality, is also remembering that we hold a silent power in our hands. Every nurtured thought, every attended thing, is contributing to shaping the world we live in. And when we learn to place focus in the right place, reality is no longer something imposed on us, but a space for us to actively create, day by day, moment by moment. Let the future tell the truth, and evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs. The future, for which I have really worked, is mine. Nikola Tesla. The calm attitude of someone who places faith in time. The fairest judge, who only listens to results and is not swayed by words. The present is always the stage of comparison, where people easily get caught in fleeting glory, hasty praises, or impatient judgments. But those who have chosen to step out of that whirlwind, they understand that the present may belong to those who quickly seize opportunities, but the future belongs only to those who quietly persevere. Like a sower not arguing with the onlooker, they bend down to do their work, believing that the harvest will speak for itself in place of explanations. A profound spirit of independence and self-mastery. It does not deny others, but simply does not let oneself be dominated by their rhythm. Each person has their own timeline, their own process to mature. When focusing on long-term effort, we accept the loneliness of the present in exchange for the solidity of the future. That is a choice not easy, as it requires patience, discipline, and faith in oneself, even when no clear results are visible. And then, like a river quietly flowing through the years, the future will naturally reflect the truth. No need for justifications, no need for hasty recognition, only what has been built with sweat and will shall remain. At that time, the accomplishment is not just an answer to the world, but a worthy reward for those who chose to believe in their path. Because ultimately, the present may belong to many, but the future, if created with unceasing effort, will always belong to those who dare to persevere to the end. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. Henry David Thoreau. Dreams are no longer fragile things to hide, but become a compass, the North Star, guiding through the vast ocean of choices and doubts. When we let dreams lead the way, each step is no longer random, but carries direction, faith, and reason to continue. The confidence here is not a fleeting sense of pride, but a quiet belief in what we see in our minds, even when the surrounding world has not yet understood. Living the life we have imagined means daring to narrow the gap between what is possible and what we desire. It is the journey of turning visions into actions, turning dreams into daily habits. Like an artist sculpting from a rough stone block, the final form has existed in their mind long before the world sees it. That path is certainly not smooth. There will be times when dreams are doubted, delayed, even questioned by ourselves. But it is in those moments that continuing to walk is the highest expression of loyalty to oneself. When we live true to what we imagine, we are not just pursuing success, but pursuing wholeness. Each choice then reflects the person we want to become, not the person we are forced to be. And then, over time, life begins to change shape. Things that once existed only in the mind gradually take form, have breath, have traces in reality. We realize that living by dreams does not make life easier, but makes it more worth living. Because, looking back, the most precious thing is not what we have achieved, but that we dared to walk confidently, dared to live a life bearing our own mark, the life we once imagined with all faith and aspiration. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The value of personal identity amid the strong current of social pressure. This world operates by templates, standards, and invisible expectations, where people are often measured by similarity more than difference. From growing up, we are taught to fit in, to integrate, to become the correct version in the eyes of the majority. In that context, keeping one's own voice, keeping one's true self, is not easy at all, but a journey requiring persistent courage. Being yourself does not mean noisy rebellion or intentionally being different. It is quiet honesty with emotions, values, and inner beliefs, even when they are not applauded. Like a tree growing amid strong winds, it does not choose the wind's direction, but chooses to root deeply to avoid being uprooted. People are the same. When understanding clearly who they are, they do not need to wear a mask that fits every gaze. That steadiness helps us not to be swept away by comparisons, not to lose ourselves in the journey of pleasing others. The greatest accomplishment is not fame or tangible success, but inner wholeness, because when losing oneself, all other achievements become empty. Conversely, when living true to one's nature, even failures carry meaning, because we know it is the path we chose. Being yourself is daring to say no to things that do not belong to us, daring to accept temporary loneliness in exchange for long-term peace. In a world that constantly pulls us toward ready-made models, keeping one's identity is like keeping a small flame before a great wind. It may flicker, but if protected by understanding and self-respect, it will not go out. And that flame will illuminate our own path, reminding us that living true to oneself is not selfish, but courageous. Because after all, the greatest accomplishment is not becoming someone else, but becoming oneself, completely and without regret. If you're not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. Jim Rohn. Risking the usual does not necessarily mean reckless or impulsive decisions. It could simply be daring to think differently, daring to choose the harder path, daring to abandon familiar stability to pursue a better possibility. Like a climber facing two paths, one flat, easy to walk, but leading only to familiar views, and one rugged, full of gravel, but opening to broader vistas. If we always choose the easy way, then accepting the familiar scenery is inevitable. The price of not daring to change. When we are not ready to trade current comfort, we also refuse the possibility of touching something different. Many people dream of a more meaningful life, but fear losing what they have, and so they choose to stand still, hoping the extraordinary will come to them. But life does not operate like magic in fairy tales. It responds with action, not wishes. Accepting risk also means accepting failure, mistakes, and uncertain days. But it is those experiences that create the depth of life. Those who dare to try may fall, but they do not live in regret. Those who do not dare to try may be safe, but easily trapped in what-ifs. And between those two, this saying gently reminds us to choose for ourselves. Either dare to trade to open new possibilities, or peacefully accept the ordinary as a reasonable outcome. Not everyone needs to pursue the extraordinary, but if in our hearts there is a desire for more than what we have, then not daring to risk is the biggest barrier, because life rarely gives us more than what we are willing to trade, and sometimes just one step away from familiarity is enough for life to open a completely new direction. In this life, we cannot do great things. We can only do small things with great love. Mother Teresa. In a world that often glorifies great achievements, shining milestones, and resounding names, this saying gently pulls us back to the true essence of life. Value lies not in the magnitude of what we do, but in the depth of love we put into it. Most of life is woven not by extraordinary moments, but by countless small things repeated every day. A timely inquiry, a kind act unseen by anyone, patience given to others when we are tired. All so small, they are easily overlooked. But it is the love sent in those things that makes life warm and meaningful. Like a small candle in the dark night, it does not dispel the entire darkness, but enough to illuminate a corner, enough to warm a heart. Not everyone is born to change the world, but everyone can make the world around them a little better. When we do things with great love, that work, though small, carries its own dignity and value. The mother caring for her family, the janitor sweeping the street clean every morning, the teacher patient with each student. They do not create noisy miracles, but they keep life running with silent dedication. Great love in small things is also how people resist indifference. When we do something with all our heart, we are fully present in that moment. We do not do it to finish, not out of duty, but because of the connection between people. And that presence makes the small thing profound, makes the recipient feel seen, valued. Greatness is not doing things beyond reach, but keeping love in the most ordinary things. When we live like that, life does not need to sparkle with glory, but will quietly shine with kindness, perseverance, and humanity. Because sometimes the greatest thing a person can do is to love fully in every small thing of their life.